Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne. It's a today with a well, sort of double header, although both matches are running at the same time. First off, we have the match that I'll concentrate on. That's Hotly versus Horse from Peru. Let's check their match schedule. Looks like Hotly has definitely interesting opponents. Won't be easy for them to qualify for the playoffs. And Horse definitely has the easier schedule here. The best of the bunch would be Marty. I don't really trust Fabion's top elo because that wasn't achieved against good competition. And Boulon, I'm not really familiar with, but their top rating suggests Horse should be the favorite there as well. So looks like an easier route into the playoffs at least. And then we have CT versus Phosphate, which I'll cover on the left window. CT has a tough program ahead of them, that's for sure. With Sporter, even Lazy Boy and Michaels, definitely no slouches there. And Phosphate, also with Waiguru, tough. So actually great to see in this many interesting matches. Let's take a quick look at the stats here for our main pairing. This is Horses rating evolution, top rating somewhere around 750. They started in this account, looks like in April of last year. No, not last year. Yes, last year. April of last year. Before that, I think Sparkle Horsey was around for a few years, so it's not surprising to see them rise to the master ranks within a few months. And then there is Hotly with 11K of games, master since a long time, and from then on, regular visitor in the, let's say, top 50. Yeah, to pick a favorite here is tricky. Actually, I think they are more or less on the same level. So we'll see. Yeah, before I open the other game, CT top rating 680 something, and then there is Phosphate with a top rating of 760, I think. Maybe their current rating of 755 might even be their top rating, but they are definitely in good shape and would be my favorite over there. And that's actually why I'd rather cover Hotly versus Horse, because I perceive this match to be the closer one, but we'll see about that. Maybe I'll be proven wrong later on, which I am more often than I'd like to. This looks like Horse is still offline. Let me check. Yeah, but still scheduled for today and right now. So until they turn up, let's focus on the left window. See, yeah, still not there. And if they don't turn up, well, then I'll focus on CT versus Phosphate. So we have Phosphate from China with the blue meeples versus CT times 5 from Hong Kong with yellow. CT nicely pre-closing the road, also taking away options from blue to attack this by adding the crossroad there. The first 4 points of this city went to the Hong Konger as well. And Phosphates City up top was obstructed with the quad city. Let's check. No tournament. So maybe the horse won't turn up. Yeah, CT tried to create some problems for Blue's extender city there. It didn't really work that great. But for now, they'll have to go after this top square. Blue can't defend. Will use the monastery, quite likely either next to the road, although that's shoddy because then they'd receive pressure in 2 squares from one point of origin, so rather somewhere over here. I mean, this creates better options to use city pieces next to the monastery, but I'd rather use this square here, for example, where I get 1 point more, need 1 tile less to release the monk. So let's check for the horse again. Yeah, still nothing. So then let me switch the windows. And if they don't turn up well, then we'll focus just on this match, which of course is fine as well. So Phosphate got away with their city, drew one of the 3 remaining starting tiles, even though this limitation by yellow was quite nice. It didn't work out for them. Therefore, the Chinese player now has a lead on the scoreboard, has definitely the better position. This road here by yellow really isn't a threat at all. They might try to create a threat of this road, which will be restricted momentarily by Phosphate. At least I'm pretty sure of that. Don't see a reason not to go there. Even this here isn't, because there are still 3 daggers out there. So even a limitation there isn't that troublesome. And yeah, blue has a threat up top. Now the second one on the left side. And therefore it will be an uphill climb for yellow. In this one here, they definitely need to get one of the roses to liberate the highway meeple and snatch 4 points on top. Some cases might even need to claim the field beforehand somewhere, just not to give blue the first track at a possibly largish field. Yeah, twin caps aren't ideal right now. Going over here, leaving the cap empty, seldomly the best idea. Going there is a bit iffy due to 1 dagger being gone already. At the top, well, more often than not, you get restricted to the same dagger or attacked immediately. So best news for blue in this case is there are still 2 splitters left. So let's check. Still no horse, then it looks like they either put in the wrong time or postponed their match without changing the date, or The horse just didn't turn up. Yeah, so about this situation, yellow, of course, hopes to draw one of the 5 field Doritos for this position before blue gets their hands on one of the 2 splitters. Of course, getting one of 5 is way more likely than getting one of 2. But we'll see if the likelihood will manifest or not. Hey, Alexi. Might be true about the horse not being the best at keeping to a schedule. I mean, these times aren't CT, right? So if they were, we'd still have to wait 6 more minutes. Oh, and CT being down by 16, 17 goes for this attack. Why not? Actually, yeah, loose move here. Securing the field takes away the free road Doritos. On the other hand, it also takes away an option to divert Yellow City into the road here. We'll see. For now, let me mark all these here as critical, because whichever piece of these 3, not even the cow, it's still these 2. Whichever hits first will have huge impact on this game, because now yellow increased their chances. Actually, they could still use the splitter very profitably there, closing their city and continuing their attack just one step further. Kill on the left. Sure, definitely go for it, especially if you don't have a better place to use the Dorito. And Alexi's comment about the road quite likely was about this crossroad here. Yellow could have gone for the right side, hoping once one of these 2 hits, they could not just snatch the 5 points for the road, but also the 4, maybe 4 -1, -3 for the city, so being even more efficient. Of course, the risk that comes with this move would be the 1 in 4 chance that blue would draw both roses and leave 2 of yellow's meeples in the dust. So they just opt to claim the left side. And here we are. There is the Dorito, even one of the 2 shielded ones, giving yellow 3 cows to claim a nice looking city, and at least gaining a bit of traction, because by now they are down 28. Sure, they could still attack Blue's ruin, 7 points are 7 points. For sure, they'll take the top field to more or less equalize Blue's bottom fields. In the long run, might be able to unite the fields, take them over maybe. Yeah, and Blue has to take care of the monasteries. Getting meeples back here looks to be essential for them to having a shot in the long run. For now, as long as these 5 meeples are all on their features and Yellow doesn't get either of their 3 back, it's not really that problematic. But once Yellow does, and it's highly likely, then Blue will have to fight against a invasion of Yellow meeples. It will be hard pressed to fight them off, especially for this field here, which has a lot of potential. Again, 2 cities up top, 2 cities at the bottom, 2 more, needing only 1 tile to be closed. So we are speaking of an 18-point field here. And that alone would bring a huge swing in Yellow's favor. Yep, and Blue knows it. That's their second farmer up top, taking away the best chance for Yellow going for the field. So I really wouldn't mind this one here right now, setting up this loop, attacking both fields, even though there are only 2 curves left, surprisingly. But doesn't look like Yellow will have a shot without going for the field here. I need to, sure, take the city, but that doesn't take care of 32 points on the virtual scoreboard. Yeah, this works as well, but actually I would have liked the added upside of a possible 6-point loop when you have the meeple majority. It's rather unlikely for Blue to claim it as long as they only have the 1 meeple in hand. Yeah, but it works. They went for this here, hoping, as they should, to get the rose. Now 22 points, and it looks way more promising. Will they be greedy, claim one of the caps up top, or will they just close their city, considering there aren't many caps left with a roach on the top? Exactly, only the rose, right? Yeah, looks like it. No, I'm wrong. Mixed up the daggers. There are still 2 daggers here, so any road from the top isn't really problematic, and field side up top, there'd still be 2 caps left. Nonetheless, they claim their city immediately. Blue can't close one of the caps, so they hope getting this monk back. Now we are at 18 points spread, and it looks more and more likely that Yellow's meeple majority will help them equalize the game. They claim the field up top. Yeah, fine. There are still other options later. Could have gone over here, actually. But all straights are gone, so this here is all but dead. Only one crossroad left to fill it. Yeah, defense, of course. Do you add a second farmer there who also has a shot to gain the main field via the road monastery? We'll see. Or do they go for the indirect block? This gives 2 blocks. This would only yield 1, the road monastery. Yeah, I think indirect works better in this case. Yeah. This is in yellow's favor because there's only 1 road end left to claim this, and that's exactly the same piece blue needs to kill the square. But that doesn't really matter anymore because yellow quite likely will connect now. Or will they wait for a Dorito and just claim a city? I mean, they could set up a secondary field. And they take the immediate attack. Penultimate cow in blue's hands. Only 1 left for yellow. Yellow is still down 14 points. And if they don't hit the cow, well, quite frankly, they have to unite the fields and will need to win the unified field. As long as the road monastery is still out there, there are definitely good enough shots. Claiming this here looks rather safe. And one option about the field on the left side, of course, although it's now very unlikely to be profitable anymore, would have been exactly this here. Once someone closes the road, the fields would unite. So no left-handed daggers in the deck anymore. Therefore, this square will be dead after yellow closes their city. Question is, do you meeple immediately? And I'd say yes, because there is a good chance to go here. The problem, though, is there are a lot of blocking tiles out there. So basically, the only thing that blue could have drawn to not prevent a connection up top would have been a monastery. Everything else was an immediate block. But will they block? Or will they try to attack themselves? I don't think that would be wise. The block should be hurtful enough. Oh yeah, time trouble, says Alexia, and he's right. CT has only a minute left. And still no horse, by the way. Phosphate doesn't have time trouble at all. Still 6 minutes. Should be plenty for this and the remaining 4 moves. and I have no doubt that they'll okay. Very curious actually, but looks to me like they did go for this in the case of missing out on the cow because they need to score points. Now that yellow is at +7 and has one meeple for each move left even. Whereas blue would have an outside chance of attacking this field if they manage to close this city. But for now, let's try to find other options for them. I didn't see any field attack. This one. Okay, city close, and up top are 2 connection options. Blue can't do anything about it. But hope this here won't make its way into the field because there is no road piece left over here that would allow this connection. And yellow gets the second monastery as well. Now they are at +15, and there's no feature that would allow blue to regain the lead, especially not with only 2 moves left. And yeah, of course, both Otto and hi Otto, by the way, Alexi mentioning this monastery here, which should have been placed here. This way would have been unblockable as yellow played. The dagger would have immediately killed, and the monastery would have done the same. And well, the Dorito as well. Yeah, I don't get it. But maybe time trouble again, although doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, you don't really have to think a lot about this, right? Yeah, phosphates. Still looking for options, but there just aren't any. Yeah, so what to take away from this one? Well, this move here, not just a content move, but a very good move. And not exactly sure again about Blue's monastery here. Sure, they took away road Doritos from yellow to connect, but they also took away road Doritos, or even better, horses from their arsenal of options to kill this, win a mini battle, possibly kill yellow's meeple as well, or at least delay this city for quite some time. So still not convinced that this monastery was the best idea there at this point. And I'm not remembering really. Let's actually check. So blue is on the right side, whereas the road monastery over here. Yeah, nothing much in terms of tiles you'd really want to use to restrict over here. And it didn't took yellow long to draw the Dorito anyway. I'm not sure where this one was placed. The problem was also the monastery here, right? I think the curve was still there, already there. Yeah. Kaika, frankly, hi, by the way. I don't know what blue did here. I didn't look anymore. Game's over, doesn't matter. And yeah, in terms of tiles overall, again, my first look goes to caps and roads. And if one side has a large advantage there, in this case, it would be phosphate, because drawing only 1/3 of the roads is definitely favorable in most games. Unless there's a huge field fight, then you might need at least some roads to attack and connect. But overall, this city in the middle was quite likely the decisive factor here. So CD claimed the first city. Went into a fight with this road while also gifting this cap to blue. Doesn't strike me as ideal. And you could have taken the one on the right side as well. And now even restricting their city to the dagger. Ooh. Talking about ripple effects, right? No, we aren't sure. Thanks. So CT placed this one first. I'm just so used to curve moves in the beginning, but this here actually was Phosphate's first tile, and this was CT's second. So then the road here. So there was no other option for yellow than to go there. Yeah, and they opted to claim the cap instead of trying to equalize Blue City. And they also had no other option for this extender except adding it to the opponent's city. Blue gotta love the deck gods today. Getting both road monasteries. Especially when they could use them productively, like in this or in the first game. So a lot hinges on this one for yellow, but even more so this situation here. A field Dorito for blue would be more or less devastating for yellow, because then they need daggers, the same dagger in both places here. But now at least the extender city gets off the hook and they gain an option to kill blue city on the next turn, unless blue gets something to prevent this. They even think about meepling the road, maybe, just in case that blue immediately draws a horse or road Dorito, but they opt against it, and for sure will now kill blue city and also taking the 2 points. And that's how quickly a good position for blue turns into a better position for yellow. Yeah, blue maybe just limiting the field, going for the kill here. Yeah, Kaika suggests a farmer here. If this were a curve, why not? But this road here, I mean, we saw a similar farmer yesterday that worked out fine in the end, but it's only really productive if you manage push the road into to the south, and then pad your field on the right side, or of course get the dagger. And the problem with this is you'd have to invest at least one piece to a feature that really isn't great, and I don't like this. I mean, this more or less would be a wasted move, and this field, the city is on your field anyway, so I'd rather claim this, if at all, than later. So yellow indirectly protects their city, hoping to get curve, ideally of course the dagger, before blue can kill this one. Blue dumped their extender at the bottom. Not a huge fan, actually. I mean, they could still try to at least play against yellow's field. Dumping this up top. Yeah, sure, this here would be iffy, but at least the field would be a tad restricted there. And if you don't like the top position, maybe this one here. Not sure that having this platform to harass yellow's small city really moves the needle here by a large amount. Ah, sorry, Kaika. You meant the left farm. Okay, now we are talking. Yeah, that would have worked. Yeah. At least better than this one here. Sorry. Hmm. This here I don't like one bit. Your position looks okay. There is one dead meeple of your opponent. You might be able to get one back while your opponent doesn't. And the biggest threat would be your opponent taking over the city, which you could have nipped in the bud by going for a larger ruin here. Then yellow decided to go for the city. If it works, great. If it doesn't, great chance for blue to get back here. So blue needs something over here. Taking away the splitter would sure be nice. Attacking this with the remaining starting tile might even be better. Even though you already need a triple city on the left side. Yeah, and yellow could just defend and hope to win the 50 flip. They don't. But can now defend this square here. Still all 3 right-handed daggers remaining. So then basically any Dorito would secure this here. Same goes for the splitter, of course. That would be even better. Maybe they think whether to place this to the top or to the right side. This would, of course, leave... Oh, they even go for the restriction on the left. Okay. Actually, I don't like this. Because you had 2 chances to still attack or restrict the city. So at least one would be there on your next turn. And you could have saved your city, which is rather tricky to attack or restrict from this platform. And it would have been now completely safe. Ooh. Yeah, again, proof will be in the pudding. So sure, this here gives blue at best a 50-50. In reality, closing the city has a chance of way less. But if you immediately get one of two pieces that still works there, you only need to hit the one remaining dagger. And in the end, yellow could get their cake and eat it too. They are definitely more likely to close their city. They have 3 shots. Blue has only the one. Nothing happened with these monasteries since I last spoke about them. Um, we have 20 tiles left, and yellow decides to meeple the farm when they are down 7, just to take away this one here. Wow. Okay. I mean, for sure, there are still 2 straights, and then they'd secure 1 big field. So blue was able to hit that 1 outer. Takes at least a temporary lead on the scoreboard. Yellow takes another small field on the left side. Also really complicates a field attack there. Basically taking away all road pieces. Can't be used anymore to attack there. And also there's still the threat of this straight and combining of yellow's forces. First of 3 right-handed daggers in blue's hand. And I didn't comment on this one here. Blue killed the city finally. But at plus 14, this now 10-pointer if closed 22-pointer, so plus 12 plus 3 for the field. 15 points would equalize the scoreboard. But then yellow would still have to fight against blue's meeple majority, and now that blue has placed a farmer there, even closing the city wouldn't give yellow the lead, but it would, because they'd also claim 4 points for this road. So fields are united. Blue quite likely won't try to attack them. They just don't have the meeple power to do so. They instead created this road here, of course, hoping to close it and also snatch a 6-point field. Yeah, yellow has to decide whether to kill this one because there are no crossroads left. Leaving a cap there or adding the cap somewhere to their field. And I think This is the right choice, even if it gives 4 immediate points to your opponent, because they drew the next cap and actually were way more likely than you to profit from this cap, as yellow still needs the dagger here. Okay. Looks like they wanna restrict this cap, so blue can't profit from drawing a dagger themselves. But now they are at minus 29. Where did blue score all these points? These 7 over here, right? Have I missed something else? And yeah, I missed something. The dagger over here would give 6 points to blue's farm, not just the 3, because it extends all the way around yellow city. Yeah, so actually closing the city, even though it would gain yellow 12 plus 4 plus 3, so 19 points, it would give 6 back to blue. So it's just an 11-point swing and does not work here. That's just not enough. Especially not if you don't get the meeple back to use it productively later by not getting the dagger sooner. Yeah, nice setup by blue, by the way. A square to use one of these daggers productively, liberating the monk, scoring 3 points. I'm pretty sure they'll dump this somewhere. Doesn't really matter now. No road ends left. Just don't create a huge ruin, and there are just shoddy places for ruin creation, so. Oh, they even take the 6-point field, yeah. Sounds fine. So yellow finally gets their dagger, but it's just too little and way too late. So it'll be decider time in a minute or two. Yeah, then seeing this here, maybe this move was a problem after all, but with all the curves out there, not doing something about blue's road would quite likely worked out to an even bigger loss, even if it, of course, was Unfortunate that blue immediately got to profit from the empty cap. Yeah, yellow could have taken 5 points, of course. Doesn't matter. Loss is a loss. Yeah, tides pretty equal. More caps for yellow. But of course, stats are just that. Although, if we look at the beginning here, 7 quite useful tiles at the start of the game for yellow. And blue side, well, sometimes it's not just the tiles, but also where you place them. And this was quite likely very well played by blue in the beginning. Let's take a look back. Because we missed the first move. So let's check again, just to clear up everything that was still unanswered. Yeah. But actually we did that. Yeah, not ideal, but would you rather equalize this? I don't know. I think taking the cap sounds fine. Yeah, and this is just annoying for yellow. I mean, if you don't go there, take the one on the right side when dagger is already gone. Not better. Definitely not better. This here at least gives you options of possibly creating a large city or using a rotary to productively running away with your own city while leaving these 2 meeples on the board. Yep, just not an ideal start. So this goes to show you good tiles don't mean a lot if you can't use them productively. So try to use everything you have in an optimal way and just take into account your opponent's moves and their possible moves as well, which some folks more often than not don't. So this time it's phosphate with the first points on the scoreboard, city plus a crossroad up top. Yeah, yellow took away a 6-point loop. Okay. Blue extends yellow city just to take away the lip shape option. So triple city here, 2 Doritos on the left, and giving themselves an immediate chance to attack this on their next turn, unless yellow would have gotten a Dorito for the top. Yeah, nicely claimed a 3-point road with a road end for their starting road as well. Will yellow attack, or will they just go for the city at the bottom? Yeah, their choice seems to be the correct one. If you don't go there, well, blue might, and Losing this one here quite likely would be game decisive. So phosphate doesn't even blink before executing this. And now there are, of course, still the splitters here. And so equalizing blue city to take away any shenanigans over here with cows might be an idea. On the other hand, you could go for the cow yourself, just in case blue gets the Dorito to connect up top. They opt for none of these. Instead, they close this one. Sure, two extenders are gone, but there are still the twin caps to be considered. So there was also this road option. Definitely not a fan of this. I think more aggressiveness against the player of Phosphate's caliber would have been in order. Let's check what the peanut gallery says. Okay, nothing about this. Instead, oh, yeah, Otto says he would have used a Dorito over here for blue instead of going for the connection up top, because the connection up top still leaves options to reattack the city, whereas this one here possibly grants you access there, and then the splitter wouldn't be that devastating. On the other hand, you could use a splitter there to close your city and still attack. But blue closed their city, exposed this big gaping hole in yellow city to a block. Yellow quite obviously plays for a ruin here, doesn't care about this, even though they had the perfect piece in hand. I don't like this. Sure, securing this huge ruin is definitely a good idea. But if you don't close it, blue will have the meeple majority in the long run. And there are still a lot of caps to come, and any fields that will be created later on quite likely will rather see blue than yellow farmers. And very likely all these caps and all these fields will in the end be worth more than this ruin here. And for now, there's only 1 point to be gained by connecting these 3 parts, and you are only at +2. So if yellow doesn't manage to close that one, I'd bet my money on blue here. Yeah, easy protection here. Still 3 cows left. Yeah. 3 restriction. Still 2 starting tiles there if this road gets bent into this square. This wouldn't be the worst move. The problem is the normal completion up top with Doritos doesn't really work in yellow's case because there's only one Dorito and the two splitters left, but at least closing this up here would remove this option if that square's dead, but actually, does it matter? I don't think so. So yellow just creates a city and pressures blues, which seems nice. This was the penultimate left-handed dagger. So they could restrict blue city severely. And here we go. A ruin it'll be. And the score is still more or less tight. Blue will close their city and quite likely meeple the farm, leaving this here for the taking. Yeah, annoying for yellow. I'd love to take this 4-pointer, but there is still this road in the middle. And so it goes. Blue with the city and the first field, as predicted earlier. And yellow city is more or less shot. But they still could close it and might need to try. Else, these two blue meeples please give yellow the chance. Because for now, meeple count is equal. If they manage to play against this square, it could stay that way. Penultimate cow in blue's hand, so only one left. Nicely done by blue. Acting against yellow's safely placed city. Not playing against the one that might end up on their field. Yep. An 11-point move for blue out of nowhere. Taking a decisive lead. Which doesn't bode well for yellow. Also, there's one thing to be said about this orientation from earlier, where yellow could have used this one, giving them a chance to possibly claim a 5-point road at the bottom. In a case where you might need to score a lot of points using setups that are more or less a 50-50 flip, usually does you good. Yeah, farm or not. I'd say farm, close your road, attack, take this 12-point field over, maybe even get the second road monastery. I mean, just to break Blue's road monastery drawing series here. What's fate? Claims another city, creates another field up top, also exposes this here to a 50-50 block. And I mean, yellow might enter desperation mode, claiming this monastery. It's totally out there. Any straight restricts this to the remaining dagger. And the same restriction could very well follow up top. But at some point in time, you have to find options. On the other hand, they could try to play against this one, but there are still 2 monasteries out there, so it doesn't really work. And taking this one, at least controls Blue's monastery in the short term, but gives both one space to liberate the monks immediately. Don't like this. Yeah. What else is there? Maybe just not using the monastery as a monastery, but claiming the field up top. But they go for the bottom one. And even the last cow lands in Blue's hand. Which of course is completely annoying for yellow. Only the 1 dagger left. Now they get another monastery. Should meeple this, but can't really with the left meeple in hand, and no good prospects of getting one back, and still 24 tiles to go. On the other hand, they need to score somehow at -14. Yeah, so maybe just set up a better monastery square for later. Protect your city up top. Yeah, this sounds like a good idea. Please to take away road Doritos from the killing options. But Blue is rather relentless there, creating another option to use all curvies to kill Yellow's city. And with the city very likely Yellow's last hope, because even taking over the bottom field won't win them the game anymore. Yeah, I think yellow has to protect like this. Still 1 extender and 1 twin cap left. 1 starting tile, 1 crossroad to kill this though. But if you don't go there, oh yeah, damn it. Curves, of course. But was there something else? I mean, connect here. Go for volatility, just dump another cap there to claim it. Live with this short city. Yeah, in the end, it comes down to this one here. Using a definitely not ideal piece to go for this city, increasing the likelihood of the city becoming a ruin in the end, increasing the likelihood of having a meeple minority in the long run with still a lot of caps to come, more or less turned the game in blue's favor. Blue even cashes in on yellow setups. And even though phosphate only leads by 8 points, so field takeover would give yellow a lead. It just doesn't matter because over the last 18 tiles, blue will just outscore yellow, and even losing the field wouldn't really matter. So another 4 points, another small field to be claimed later by them. Yeah, I think if you're yellow, you just have to set up stuff like that, hoping to get the caps yourself. Okay, they use the other option, which I don't like again, because I'd rather have the cap here to close my monastery while also scoring some points to at least get the second meeple, because now blue will attack the field immediately. And even without this connection, it's just game over. Nice setup by yellow. Hoping to draw one of the remaining 3 Rotoritos before blue does. Another nice setup, hoping to get the Road Monastery as well. At least that one doesn't work, so third game in a row that blue got both Road Monasteries. Which of course is definitely very nice, getting in most cases best tile in the deck. At least the tile that affects games usually the most. So case in point, 6 points without even meepling the monastery as a monastery. Just using the road and increasing the field. It's just versatile like that. Another yellow setup that blue caches. Yeah, yellow doesn't even care anymore. Should have, of course, taken the 6-point field up top, hoping to get the remaining caps to at least create a 12-pointer there. Okay, this works. Guaranteed ninja connection. So I was wrong. Is here. In that case, in that one case where blue gets the extender, works perfectly. Although I'm not even sure blue would have done anything against this option. They just don't need to. Doesn't matter whether they tie the 21-point field in the end or not. They could even go here just in case yellow gets the dagger, then blue would at least get the city. Or they just go here, claim the 7 points from the road. Yeah. Why not? Yep. So still no hotly versus horse. So doesn't look like they just mixed up the time zones. And let's take a look at this yellow city earlier. Especially the situation with the field Dorito. Oh, even too late. Yeah, this works. So no, this doesn't work. Because again, we need to draw at least one piece, so the score is correct. Yeah, again, I don't like this one. Not one bit. Three big city tiles are gone. Blue might use one up top or over here. So they are unlikely to disturb your city there. I just keep it open and either go here or there. I'd be curious what you in the chat would do. So if someone is still there, please chime in. And then this here, I think this is basically saying goodbye to the idea of closing the city. Your more or less only shot would be going for Doritos and a cap up top, which, and you also need a Dorito here. This just doesn't work great and would need another Dorito. This is so annoying. So if you want to attack a city like that, I mean, why not use this one? At this point in time, there were still all 4 horses out there. This would have been an unblockable connection if you get a Dorito. And even blue's connection up top wouldn't really matter if you don't get a splitter. And if blue goes there with a second meeple, well, at least you have a clear out that would be killing the square, taking away the way more valuable side of a ruin. And in addition to this attack, would also create problems for blue city there. So yeah, I think this here was even a bigger misstep than I initially thought. So with this, I would have rather placed it next to blue's city, not city, monastery, possibly attacking this. This here maybe in some cases wouldn't even mind adding a Dorito here just to restrict this square, giving these two meeples only one out, even if this here gets killed. I think you mean the favorite one in every single match so far? Sure? I don't know. But Alexi, what's your take on this one here? Where would you have placed this? Just give me just a second. So which option would have been yours? Or do you have something else in mind completely? I mean, let me add a fourth there, but I'm sure you wouldn't have closed the city at the bottom, right? Yeah, thought so. This year. Exactly. Low risk, high impact. There's really not a lot of bad stuff that could happen. So let's illustrate that. Sure, blue could close their city, put pressure on ours, or with a Dorito or big city tile, go for immediate equalization. But then we'd still have the splitter option. And well, what would be the worst? Something like this, yeah. But even then, we'd still have Doritos and even the one remaining horse. Or if push comes to shove, a dagger to at least get the meeple back and kill a ruin, kill a city, which might be tied anyway. Or in some cases, we just complete our city and restrict blues. And maybe later on get to attack the city on the right side after all. But yeah, so these two moves here put the game on a path that wasn't very likely to end up in a yellow win. So let's actually take a look. If all favorites won so far. Well, we could talk about Glovia versus Marty and Tito versus Bluste. But else it looks like Sporter, Dr. Zaihan. Not sure Sporter was the favorite there, and same with Tesche Mosopal. Also not sure about Portgard and Kreukler. Let me check. Yeah, not really. Portgard's top rating last year was 638, Kreukler 610. Rating a few days ago, Portgard at 600 something, Kreukler at 500 something. So This also sounds more like an upset to me, but whatever. It's the first day, the first week. So we'll see. Later on, UY Scooty, Polish world champion from back then, I don't know, 2017 maybe, versus Finland's finest, Nalaheim, as indicated by these 5 gold stars, both rated at the master level when this was updated, so sometime earlier today, covered by Alexi. And later on, I'll cover Sweden's finest, Helge H versus Fox 1347, who ousted a lot of masters in the RCP qualifications and won 8 of 9 matches there to secure the second place behind Michael. So should be an interesting match. I'm not sure about Fox at all. Don't know anything. I think I haven't even seen any replay. So it will be interesting to check out their style. Thanks to those who tuned in. I hope to see you later. Enjoy your day. Until then, bye-bye.